We are introducing you to the candidates running in District 27. 25 News Now anchor Don Brubaker has Scott Mandel today. Don.
Karina, thank you and welcome, Mr. Mandel.
Thank you for having me, Don.
The Crossroads people want to know something about you, so tell us about your background.
So I was born and raised in Corpus Christi. I went to Incarnate Word Academy High School, Mark College, and Texas A&M Corpus Christi, where I received my bachelor's degree in criminal justice and my master's in public administration. I've been married 39 years. I have 3 children and 3 grandchildren. I am a Christian. I'm a Catholic, practicing Catholic, and I, to this day, believe that Sundays are made for God and family.
Mm-hmm. Why are you running for public office?
Anybody that runs for office is running because they feel that they can do a better job, and that's the case here. I am convinced that I can do a better job. I've got a lot more experience than the current congressman. And I know the situations that we're involved with at the border, and I know I can have a bigger impact knowing what's happening.
What are your biggest differences with Congressman Clout?
Well, so as a congressman, you have 2 primary jobs. Number 1, it's to represent the people. Number 2, it's to look at the bills that exist and decide whether you need new bills, you want to modify a bill, and that's it. Those are the 2 primary functions. Number 1, I don't think he's represented our district very well. And I say that because in our district, we have had a couple of organizations that have had to reach out to another congressman for support. That's a big red flag for me, first off. And so if you're not going to represent the people, then you're not doing what you need to be doing or what you were elected to do. And as I look at the bills that he's voted for, my job is to talk about what I think we can do better, and obviously his job is to defend that. When you vote against the PACT Act, you're voting against veterans. And the PACT Act was to help the victims of burn pits, folks that were involved back with Agent Orange. And my dad was a Marine Corps veteran. He was involved in Agent Orange. My grandfather was an Army vet. His brothers were in the Army, and one was a POW. And so veterans hold a special place for me. But you're voting against that, and a lot of people then go without the help that they need. We expect these people to go out and serve us, and they suffer, and when they come back and they don't get the services that they need, I think that's a disservice to this country and in our communities.
Mm-hmm. When you're on the campaign trail and people throw some ideas at you or complaints, for example, what's the biggest issue that you hear back from possible voters for you?
The border. The border is a mess. And we've heard a lot of rhetoric regarding the border for the last, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, 10 years. Actually goes back 90 years. Go back to Roosevelt and Truman. And you go back to Reagan, you go back to Bush. And Bush signed the Fence Act, put 700 miles of fence out there. The problem with that is that fence was open on both ends and in the middle. And so, but it made people feel comfortable. But the other problem with that is we spent hundreds of billions of dollars. We're no better today than we were 90 years ago in dealing with issues of immigration. So the biggest issue that people are concerned about are terrorists coming across the border. And that before it was South Americans, Central Americans, those from Mexico. Not the case anymore. Now you go to one of the border crossings and you see people from Russia, Ukraine, Asians, and there's a flood of people coming in. The cartels know what they're doing. They're saying, let's bring them across in mass numbers because we know the U.S. can't handle it. And that's what they've been doing. They're making their money. They're making billions of dollars doing what they're doing. Then it's costing us billions of dollars to manage this problem. We have to put the brakes on, Don. We have to tell the world we're closed for business. The border is closed. I respect good legal immigration. We need it. But we have to close the border, and we have to deal with the problems that are in front of us. Here's an interesting statistic, is that in 2023, we had 52,000 asylum cases processed by 1,650 asylum officers. The budget calls for 2,500, but they haven't hired that many. You take the 2.7 million that have come in, and you look at the processing that's happened, It's going to take us 56 years to process the people here just with the 3 million. When do we say enough is enough? The Senate bill that was pushed by the Biden administration, a disaster. It didn't do anything. It was horse trading for money for Israel and Ukraine, but it didn't do anything to help our border. We have to secure the border. Now I'm going to finish with this in regards to the border. We need to put forward operating bases on the entire U.S.-Mexico border. I've got a plan called ABACUS, America's Border Immigration Control and Unified Systems. Until we do that and truly get serious about the security at our border, nothing's ever going to change. We're going to keep dealing with this 3 administrations down the road. It's time to put the brakes on.
Mr. Mandel, thank you for coming in, for your time and for your answers.
You bet. Thank you for having me.
All right. Karina, back to you.
Don, thank you. Here are the other Republican candidates on the ballot in District 27. That includes Michael Cloud, Chris Mapp, and Luis Espindola. Luis will join us in studio tomorrow on 25 News Now at 5, and the winner will face the Democrat who wins the primary in the March 5th election. Now, early voting in the primary election continues through March 1st. You can vote from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. all days except Sunday, February 25th, when the polls open at 9 a.m. and close at 3 p.m. Of course, you can vote at the Dr. Patty Dotson Public Health Center, 2805 North Navarro, Classroom A. Now, a new poll by UT Texas Politics Project shows 60% of voters think there will be political violence in the U.S. in response to the 2024 election results. Of those polled, 24% believe it will be very likely and 36% believe it will be somewhat likely. Bringing us to your Veer poll this afternoon. The question is, do you anticipate political violence following the November election? Yes or no? We want to hear your opinion on this. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 6.